Hi, I'm Travis, 35, and the moment my wife stood in the center of our anniversary party and screamed, "I know you're cheating," I realized something chilling. I was never supposed to make it to the end of that night with my reputation intact. I'd been played. Not by accident. Not in the heat of passion. No, this was a long con. And I had just flipped the ending on her live, in front of 40 witnesses. 7 years married. 10 years together. A house paid off in full from an inheritance. Dual incomes pushing nearly $200,000. On paper, we looked like a success story. The kind of couple people envy at dinner parties. But 3 months ago started noticing things, the subtle kind. Things that only become obvious when you're not supposed to notice them. It started with her phone. Always face down. Always buzzing. Then came the late nights. Work presentations. Client drinks. Team building. Every story ended with the same guy. Her coworker. A guy I'd heard maybe twice in the last 2 years. Suddenly starring in every sentence. He's so funny. He saved my deck. You'd like him. When I called it out. Gently, "You've been talking about him a lot." She looked at me like I'd accused her of murder. "Are you serious right now? He's a colleague." God, you're so insecure. I shut up. Swallowed the doubt. Tried to be the trusting husband. Big mistake. Things escalated. Criticism started flying. My clothes were boring. My hobbies childish. My friends lazy. She moved to the guest room and blamed it on snoring didn't have. I kept thinking, this is just a phase. We'll get through it. Then, one night, she left her iPad unlocked in the office while looking for her charger. I wasn't snooping. I was reaching for a cable when it dinged. A text preview popped up. "Miss you already. Tonight was amazing." I froze. Clicked it before I could stop myself. And there it was. Months of messages, photos, plans, conversations about me. How clueless I was. How easy I made it for her. One message stood out like a bullet in a chamber. "When are you finally leaving him?" Her reply? "Soon. Need to set things up right. Can't leave without getting what I deserve." She wasn't just cheating. She was strategizing. Setting me up. Building a false narrative so she could tank the marriage, keep the house, and probably take me to court for spousal support. That's when I stopped reacting and started recording. I didn't confront her. Didn't storm in with the iPad and scream. That's what she wanted. A big scene. Something she could twist. Instead, I backed up every message, every photo, every nasty little plan to a cloud folder she didn't know existed. Then I put the iPad back exactly where I found it and said nothing. For a week, I played dumb. Acted like the same old husband. Kissed her cheek when she left for yoga. Listened to her talk about work like she wasn't screwing a coworker twice a week. Tuesdays and Saturdays, apparently. And I watched her closer than ever. She wasn't hiding the affair. Not really. What she was hiding was the setup. She started picking fights over nothing. "Why didn't you load the dishwasher? Why are you always on your phone? You don't support me." Then the Facebook posts started, those vague, bitter quotes about knowing your worth and walking away from narcissists. She was laying the groundwork. I called my brother, he's in corporate law. Told him the basics. Left out the affair. He set me up with the bulldog divorce attorney the next morning. The lawyer listened, asked questions, and said 2 words that made my skin crawl. "She's staging." He'd seen it before. Wife builds a fake case. Emotional abuse. Infidelity. Financial control. Public outburst. Lots of supporting witnesses. Cries in court, gets the house, half the assets, and spousal support whether true or not. All she needs is documentation and an audience. So I gave her both. I opened a separate bank account. Legally moved half our joint savings my right. Stored all my documents in a safety deposit box. Title of the house? Inherited from my grandfather. Fully paid. Deed in my name. No legal claim from her. Then she dropped the cherry on top. "We should throw a party," she said one morning, smiling like nothing was wrong. 7-year anniversary. Big one. Let's do it right. This from the same woman who'd forgotten our last 2 anniversaries and spent the last 6 weeks sleeping in another room. That's when I knew. This was it. Her stage. She was going to accuse me publicly at our own anniversary party with 40 people watching. My parents, her parents, coworkers, mutual friends. Everyone. I smiled. "Sure," I said. "Let's do it big. While she sent out invites, I found the guy's number. Her affair partner snagged it from her phone while she was in the shower. I called him from a burner. "Hey," I said calmly. "This is her husband." Dead silence. "I'm not calling to threaten you. I just want to understand what I'm walking into before I file for divorce," he stammered. Tried to hang up. I kept my voice calm, man to man. "She's planning something big. Just want to know what I'm up against." Maybe he felt guilty. Maybe he was scared. Maybe he was just a coward. Either way, he agreed to meet. Coffee shop. Neutral ground. I recorded the whole thing, one-party consent state. Perfectly legal. He confessed everything. 8 months. Started at a conference. Tuesdays and Saturdays like clockwork. She said I was abusive. That I controlled her money. That I'd get violent if she confronted me. That was the plan. Accuse me of cheating. Get me to snap. Record it, and walk away with everything. I walked out of that coffee shop shaking. Not with fear but with certainty. She thought she was playing chess. I was about to flip the whole board. I spent the next few days editing the recording. Trimmed it down to the core confessions: dates, frequency, motive, her plan to stage a blow-up and claim abuse. Polished the audio. Loaded it to my phone and tested the Bluetooth speaker in our living room. Crystal clear. Crisp. Impossible to deny. She had no clue. She was too busy picking out wine and planning the perfect playlist for our anniversary party, the one. She had no intention of making it to the end of as my wife. The night came fast. She spent all afternoon getting ready: hair, makeup, new dress, nails done. And when I say she looked beautiful, I mean it. She wanted to shine in front of him. And he came late, of course. He walked in with a bottle of wine, like a polite stranger. They barely acknowledged each other, but I caught the glance, the spark behind the eyes. The game was on. Everyone mingled, joked, ate. My parents brought champagne. Her friends brought fancy cheese boards. Her mom beamed like her daughter had finally arrived in the perfect marriage. Then she clinked her glass. "Can I have everyone's attention?" She stood in the center of the living room, holding her wine glass like a mick. Her face turned serious. Everyone quieted. "I just want to thank you all for being here. 7 years. It's a milestone. But..." She paused, voice cracking. "I can't keep pretending." You could hear the air being sucked out of the room. "I know he's been cheating." She looked at me with wet eyes. Real tears. She was performing. I've seen the messages. The late nights. The lies. "I can't live in denial anymore." Gasps. Her sister moved to her side. Her mom started sobbing. Friends looked at me, some with sympathy, others already judging. She stepped closer. "Don't you dare deny it." I didn't blink. Then I reached for my phone, connected to the Bluetooth speaker sitting on the mantle, and hit play. "Look, man, I'm sorry. It started 8 months ago, at the conference. We've been seeing each other Tuesdays and Saturdays." The voice of her affair partner filled the room. Clear, unmistakable, a full confession. She went pale, stumbled. Her wine glass shook in her hand. "She said you'd never notice. That you were easy to fool. She wanted to make you look bad in public, said it would help in court." People turned. The shift was instant. From me to her. Her mom's sobs stopped. Her sister's hand fell away. Her coworker stepped back like she was radioactive. I stopped the recording. Silence. "You recorded that?" she hissed. "One-party consent," I replied. "Perfectly legal. Unlike adultery, which does affect divorce outcomes in this state." Her dad stood up and walked out. Just like that. No words, her friends whispered. Her boss looked visibly uncomfortable. She stepped toward me, whispering, "You set me up." I smiled, calm, clear, collected. "No, you set me up. I just brought receipts." Then I said it. In front of everyone. "I filed for divorce this morning. You'll be served Monday. You might want to start packing." I grabbed my coat. "Sorry for the scene, everyone. Didn't want it this way." But she was right about one thing. The lying is over. I walked out of my own party, got in my car, and drove to my brother's. Behind me, the life she built on deception began to collapse in real time. The fallout hit like a tsunami. By noon the next day, I had a dozen missed calls. Most were texts. Her mom, her sister, some mutual friends. Half were furious. How could you humiliate her like that? The other half were silent. That kind of silence. That means they know. My brother met me at the door with coffee and a grin. That was the coldest move I've ever seen, he said. You dropped that thing like it was the Super Bowl halftime show. That afternoon, we changed every lock on the house. Front door, back door, garage, even the sliding patio. Cost me $400. Worth every cent. She showed up 2 hours later. Didn't knock. Tried her key. Nothing. Then came the pounding. I opened the Ring app. Travis. Open the door. You can't do this. I answered calmly from the mic. You'll get a time to pick up your stuff this weekend. You're not living here anymore. You can't kick me out of our house. Actually, I can. Titles in my name. Inherited property. Never co-own. Check with the lawyer. She stood on my porch screaming for 30 straight minutes. The neighbors definitely heard. The camera caught every second. Her lawyer called mine the next day. Came in hot. Spousal support. Marital property. You humiliated her publicly. My lawyer didn't flinch. Did your client mention the 8-month affair? The 40 witnesses? The audio recording? Silence. Then a tight, "We'll get back to you." Later that week, she was served at work. Apparently, she made a scene. Screaming, crying. The guy was there, her little affair partner. Reports say he quietly slipped out the back. Not so brave when the lights come on. 2 days later, came home and found her inside the house. She'd broken in through a bathroom window, just sitting on the couch like it was 2020 again. "We need to talk." "No, you need to leave. You're trespassing. This is my home." "Nope, it was never yours. You broke in. That's a crime." She went full drama. Tears, hand to her chest, voice shaking. I ended it with him. "I made a mistake. We can fix this." "No, I loved the person I thought you were." "That person doesn't exist." She changed gears fast. Rage. "Fine. I'm taking half the house. Half your retirement. Spousal support for life. You'll be paying me forever." I laughed. Not mockingly, just. "Tired. House is mine. Your affair disqualifies alimony. Retirement? You'll get less than half. Good luck." She slammed the door so hard a picture fell off the wall. I called a locksmith again. This time I added window locks, motion lights, a full security system with alerts to my phone. $900 total. Best investment of the year. Then came the HR call. Her company had questions. She filed a complaint that I was harassing her by serving her at work. I sent them the audio recording, the affair, the manipulation, her plan to use the company party list to target friends as witnesses. Silence. We were unaware of this relationship. It violates policy. By the end of the week, both of them were fired. Strict no fraternization rules in that company, especially for employees in the same division. She texted from another number. "You got me fired." "I'm suing you," replied once. "You got yourself fired." HR asked for context. I gave them the truth. That's not harassment. That's called consequences. Blocked the number. I thought the storm had peaked. I was wrong. A week later, she texted again from yet another number. "Where's my car?" "Ah, yes. The car, see. 5 years ago, she had terrible credit. So when we bought her car, it went in my name. The title, the payments, the insurance, all me. She just drove it. And when I checked the paperwork, yep, still mine. No transfer ever filed." I called my lawyer. "Can I sell her car? Is the title in your name?" "Yep." "Then it's your car. Do what you want." So I did. Drove it to a dealership on the other side of town. Got $8,400 cash. Not a fortune, but clean, easy, and gone. She called within the hour. I didn't answer. She left a voicemail that honestly sounded like she was auditioning for a soap opera. "You're a monster. You can't just sell my car." I texted her once. "My car, my name, my payments. You've made 0 in 5 years. Lawyer says it's legal. Save your outrage." Blocked the number. Her lawyer tried to throw a fit. Accused me of financial retaliation. Mine responded with the title, the payment history, and an itemized breakdown of every dollar it spent on that vehicle since 2018. Reply: he sold his property. Kick rocks. I never heard about the car again. Word from mutuals was that she was borrowing her sister's Honda and sleeping on her couch. Apparently that relationship was souring too. Sister wasn't thrilled to learn she'd been lied to about the abusive husband's story. One by one, The people she'd recruited began to fade. Nobody likes backing the losing team, especially when the receipts are this public. Meanwhile, things on my end got brighter. A week after the car incident, I got a raise. Promotion to lead developer, extra $15,000 a year. And since it came after the divorce filing, I wouldn't factor into the financial settlement. Timing couldn't have been better. I paid off my own car. I started redirecting the $380 a month I'd been putting toward hers into my investment account. My broker called after 30 days to tell me, "You're actually ahead post-divorce. How the hell did you pull that off?" 2 words, planning and patience. Started going to therapy. Not because I was broken, but because I didn't want to carry this crap into the next chapter. I wanted to understand how I missed it. How I let someone build a trap around me without noticing. The answer wasn't stupidity. It was trust. Too much of it. In the wrong person. For too long. But not anymore. Picked up basketball again. Joined a local rec league. Something she used to mock as a child sport for men who peaked in high school. Turns out, it's actually fun. And people there don't throw wine glasses when they lose. I painted the bedroom. Got new furniture. Bought myself a ridiculous, overpowered gaming setup, something I'd put off for years because she said it was a waste. Turns out, things that make you happy aren't a waste. Who knew? Dating? Not seriously. Just coffee here and there. Conversations where I'm not walking on eggshells. Where someone laughs at my jokes without an ulterior motive. I'm not rushing into anything. I've got time. For now, I'm building a life I actually want to live in. She, on the other hand, was on her 3rd attorney. First one quit after she screamed at him in his office. Second one dropped her after she refused to accept reality about the house. Third one, just trying to get her to sign something before she runs out of money, completely. As my lawyer put it, she tried to burn down your life. You built a fireproof house. The divorce itself moved faster than expected because she couldn't afford to slow it down. Her legal bills were ballooning, and with no job, no car, and no more emotional support from her affair partner, she was running out of lifelines. When the final mediation came around, she walked in late, dressed like someone going to a job interview she knew she wouldn't get. No makeup, hair tied back, no ring. She looked tired. Her lawyer did most of the talking. Tried to claw at everything: half the retirement, spousal support for life, compensation for emotional distress. My lawyer calmly slid over the manila folder, screenshots of texts, recording transcript, list of witnesses, title to the house, car history, timeline of employment, proof of inherited property. Our lawyer scanned the first few pages, sighed audibly, and turned to her. "You need to take the offer." She hissed something back, quiet but venomous. Then, for the first time in weeks, she looked directly at me. "Is this what you wanted? To ruin me?" I met her eyes, calm, still. "No, I just wanted out." "You ruined yourself." She looked away. Final settlement came through. House, 100% mine. Inherited, separate property. Retirement, I kept 65% of the marital portion. Spousal support, $850 a month for 24 months. That was the only pill I had to swallow, and honestly, it was cheaper than the emotional price I'd been paying for years. Debts. Each of us took our own. Hers? Substantial. All those fancy dinners and weekend team events on her card? She keeps them. Car? Sold. Done. Closed. The judge didn't even blink at the agreement. In fact, when her lawyer tried to argue the car sale was financial abuse, the judge literally rolled his eyes. He owned the car. He paid for the car. He sold the car. Next issue. Then came the final insult. She tried to argue the party recording was revenge porn. I kid you not. Her lawyer, God bless him, looked like he wanted to melt into his chair as he mumbled, "My client believes the recording was intended to cause humiliation." The judge held up the transcript. "This is an audio confession of an affair, played after your client publicly accused the plaintiff of cheating in front of 40 guests. That's not revenge. That's defense." Motion denied. Boom. Outside the courthouse, she tried one last angle. "I'm sorry," she said. Soft voice. "No tears this time. We had 7 good years. Doesn't that count for anything?" I shrugged. "You had 8 months of lying. That counts too. Can't we at least be friends?" "No, you're really just throwing it all away?" "No," I said, stepping into my car. "You already did. I'm just sweeping up what's left. She stood on the steps of the courthouse watching me drive away like she was waiting for some kind of movie ending. The one where the guy turns around and says, "Let's talk." Where everything gets patched with one meaningful conversation and a gentle hug. But that's not real life. Real life is watching your ex-wife lie, cheat, conspire, and then try to claim victim status when her scheme fails. And you go home, alone, peacefully, to your own bed, your own house, with no performance, no drama, no walking on eggshells, just quiet, just freedom, just you. Life got simple, easy but simple. The day the divorce was finalized, I didn't throw a party. I didn't go out drinking. I didn't even post about it. I just walked into my house, stood in the quiet, and let it sink in. I was free. I took the next weekend to clear out everything that reminded me of her. The throw pillows she picked, the wedding photos, the half-used hair products in the guest shower. I boxed it all up and left it on the porch. She never came to get it. Then I hit reset. Painted the bedroom a dark slate gray, my color, not trendy beige. Got a new bed, new couch, upgraded my kitchen setup, turned the guest room into a hobby space. I didn't buy anything crazy. I just made the house mine again. That $850 spousal support stung at first, sure, but I did the math. With my new raise and no more secondhand spending, I was still netting more than before. I set up autopay, labeled it tuition from the School of Hard Knocks. But the real win? Peace. No screaming over nothing. No guilt trips for staying late at work. No walking into a room and wondering if today was the day. She'd pick a new fight just to make me look cold. My therapist calls it post-traumatic clarity. I call it breathing again. I still get texts sometimes from people who weren't at the party. Mutuals who just want to hear my side or say, "She seems really sad lately." Let them wonder. The 40 people who were there that night. They know the truth. She's been spinning stories online. Vague posts about narcissists, emotional abuse, healing from trauma. She even posted a selfie with a long caption that started with, "Some people will destroy your life and call it love." It got 17 likes. Meanwhile, I joined a rec league team, started meal prepping again, and got back in touch with friends I drifted from while I was busy being someone's puppet. And the best part, dating someone new. Nothing serious yet, but she knows the whole story. Said my Bluetooth reveal was iconic. We laughed. Because I wasn't hiding anymore. I was rebuilding with nothing to hide from. The last message she ever sent me read, "I hope you're happy. You destroyed my life." I stared at it for a second. Thought about deleting it. Then I typed back, "I didn't destroy anything. I just refused to be your victim." Big difference. Blocked the number. She's still out there, from what I hear, jobless. Blaming everyone but herself. Cycling through couches and hashtags like they'll fix what she broke. And me. I've got my house, my health, my freedom, and my dignity. No regrets. Because the truth is, I didn't win by exposing her. I won by walking away with me intact. She tried to write the ending to our story. I just rewrote the last page.